Alrighty, this is going to be probably the most controversial review I've ever done. Besides that Fantastic Four 2015 video that I never want to speak of again because a day after making that review I realized that's the worst movie I've ever seen! Anyways, what's up guys, it's Game, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial movies I think to come out this winter. That is, we're talking about a movie that comes out today, but I got to see at a premiere showing last night, and that is of course, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The 9th installment to the franchise, and the final movie for the saga. We're going to talk about it because it's going to be... I think a lot of reviewers are being too harsh on this without really talking about what the movie is like to watch. And I think I'm going to start off this review by saying this movie is not a bad movie at all. I think it's a very good movie. Let's just start with that. I think it's a very good movie. Do I think it's great or do I think it's the best Star Wars? Hell no. But I needed to let you guys know that I don't think this is bad in any way, shape, or form. This was definitely better than 7 and 8 combined, especially 8. God, The Last Jedi. Anyway, and then it's way better than watching 1 or 2 in the prequels. Because I can't stand watching another 10 minutes of Jar Jar Binks. And 2, I can't get past the first 10 minutes, and I've seen that movie, the whole movie. I've seen every single Star Wars movie, and this is better than those ones I just mentioned. Obviously, it's not better than like any of the original trilogy movies or better than the prequel number 3, but I wanted to give you guys at least that. And I want to say that this is definitely not George Lucas's vision, as that has come out in Bob Iger's latest book about running Walt Disney and what that's like and the deals he made with Lucas and how they got rid of George Lucas's ideas for storyboards, which is a whole topic for another video. But for now, if any of you guys are curious, just look up George Lucas, Bob Iger, deal gone bad, story not being what George Lucas wanted. Because this is not the story that George Lucas originally had in mind. It had something to do with midichlorians and the history of them. But in regards to this movie and what Disney tried to do with it, I want to talk about commending J.J. Abrams for doing such a good job at fixing something that was so broken that would have taken 10 men to fix. Part 7 was literally like such a repeat of Part 4 that it wasn't really anything interesting at all. So it didn't really do anything for me. It was a solid, decent movie though, so I gave it like even though I never talked about it here, it's like for me it's like a 7 or something or a 6 out of 10. It's all right. And then just Last Jedi is like an easily a 5. It's just not good. It's the slowest chase scene I've ever seen in history, and there's just so much else wrong. But I think in a lot of these movies, the actors never really got a chance to show off the characters they were trying to develop and who they were trying to be on screen. So I think this movie does a good job with that. I want to talk about the character development and performances done by the actors in this particular movie is well done. It's well written, so I commend J.J. Abrams for doing a good job of helping direct the writers and all that to make this his vision, because it came out really well and it was able to answer so many questions that the previous movies left out, or fix things that the movies just seemingly ignored or tried to change that didn't make any sense at all, without getting into spoilers at all. So I think the best way to describe this is like J.J. Abrams was kind of like, the fixer or just the construction man. Like he came in with his hard helmet hat and he fixed not only Rian Johnson's vision of that horrible movie that was Episode 8, but he also fixed himself from Episode 7 with fan feedback. He basically put on his hard hat, he got his boards and his nails, and he just went to work tapping at it for a while. And it really felt like a cohesive way to fix something that was not good. So I really feel like this is definitely the best in the new saga by far. And I highly recommend that you go see this and make an opinion for yourself, because I think a lot of people and reviewers are too hard on this right now, because it's not what George Lucas wanted, and it's coming hot off that story. But you got to commend at least J.J. Abrams for trying to fix something that was so broken. It's like the horse was dead a long time ago, but he at least gave it one last kick before it went away. So I want to say that there's some good performances in this. There are really good performances in this movie. It's not bad in any way. I think story-wise, you're going to be pleased with some of the things they do and not pleased with other things. It depends on what you're looking for in this movie. If you're looking for it to be like the originals or something brand spanking new, it's not going to be like that at all. This definitely felt like its own unique thing. It definitely felt the most cohesive. It felt like all the movies kind of were intertwined in this movie, at least. But again, it's not gonna feel like a completely brand new idea, and it's not gonna feel like as good as any of the original movies you've seen. If you have a favorite, it's not gonna feel like that. But it's still going to be very good when you look at it. You're going to be like, hey, at least they went through this and they went through that and they fixed this and they fixed that. And this character was now interesting when they weren't in the past. So I think that, there was a lot of fixing here. Do I think it's very, very good, like great? No. I think it's a pretty good performance. And that's why I say, for me, this is like at least, it's up there. You know what I mean? It's good. It's definitely not one of my favorite Star Wars movies by any stretch. I'd much rather see the original trilogy or episode 3 any day of the week because those movies are so good. But this is still really good. It's still very good, and it's a good ending. I don't think it's going to satisfy everybody, but I think it's a good ending nonetheless. It does feel like things were wrapped up. It does leave a couple of open-ended questions, but that's on purpose. But this is not an all positive review. I think there were some things that were handled poorly. There were some things in the movie that are mentioned and seemingly forgotten, which is not very good. It was like they wrote it in there and they kind of forgot to answer that part of what they were writing. It happened only like 3 times, but when they did it, I was like, what is happening right now? Why is this person appearing there? Or why did this person suddenly forget what they talked about like 3 scenes ago? It is completely ignored sometimes, and I caught on to that because I was paying a lot of attention to this movie. So besides that, though, I think it's a pretty decent movie. And I don't think it's going to satisfy everybody. There are some things that seemingly feel rushed for a almost 3 hour long movie. It's 2 hours and 23 minutes or 27 minutes on runtime. So it's not a short movie by any stretch, but it definitely feels like some portions of it feel a bit rushed, while parts of the movie feel like it was extremely stretched out. And I want to point out that this is more of a Rey story than any other character. Although I did feel like Finn and Poe Dameron really got the character development they deserved in this storyline as well. And I also feel like with the past of Carrie Fisher, they did a really good job kind of just honoring her in this movie and really giving that character the proper send-off, because we're all going to miss her and she did such a good job as Leia. So I think this is a proper send-off. I think most fans will agree that they did a good job with her character in this movie, because it really was seemingly well done. And there are going to be some unexpected surprises in this. I had some unexpected surprises happen to me while watching this, and I was quite surprised. And going to a premiere, the audience was just as surprised as I was, so that was pretty cool. But it doesn't happen too many times, but there are about 2 or 3 things in this movie that are really going to throw off anything if you haven't heard spoilers. So try and stay away from those if you can. But I overall think this movie is an 8 out of 10, guys. I think it's pretty good. It strives to try and fix a lot of problems, but it's not. It's not gonna be that super Star Wars movie that you want, but it's a good Star Wars movie nonetheless, and we haven't had a good one like this in a while. Solo wasn't as good as this. 8's definitely not as good as this. 7's not as good as this. So at least we got something that I feel is good that we haven't had in a long time. And something that pays a lot of homage to the movies without copying and pasting from another movie. And that I highly commend this story for. Although there is a scene towards the end where it's gonna feel a lot like a certain movie, but they handle it in a way that's like it's just trying to reminisce a moment, but not be the same. but 90% of this movie does not feel like any of the other movies, and I was very happy about that. Because I was like, well, there was a part here, or maybe a part there, where I was like, this reminds me of that or that. This was not the movie where I was like, oh my god, this is not like part 7 where I'm like, oh my god, it's part 4, beat for beat. We're on a desert planet, then we're on a snow planet, then we gotta kill the planet killer thing. It's like, it's not that. It's not. Thank goodness it isn't, because I would have been really upset. And honestly, I was worried that I was going to walk out of the movie theater upset with this one, but I was pleasantly surprised because I had really low expectations going in. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of just honest review on it. And I hope you guys do at least check it out and form an opinion for yourselves, because this is not a bad movie. This is not. It definitely deserves at least a watch if you're a fan. It is the final one in the franchise. Give it a good swing at it. It's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. It's not. But this is way better than The Last Jedi. It's way better than The Last Jedi. It's way better than Part 7. It's way better than Part 2 in the prequels. It's way better than Part 1 in the prequels. I will tell you that. So, if you like Star Wars, go out and see it. And that's my honest opinion. Keep on being great, Games Armada, and game on!